Gypsy Rose has just been released from prison after receiving parole and serving 8 out of her 10 years prison time. Coming to Instagram and TikTok on Sunday the 31st of December, Gypsy expressed her gratitude for the support she got from her fans from all over social media.
Hey everyone, this is Gypsy. I'm finally free. I just want to send a quick video to thank everyone for the massive amount of support that I've been getting on social media. Everyone has been really nice and supportive, and I really appreciate that.
She was also seen talking about the upcoming Lifetime documentary series The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her autobiographical ebook. But how did she end up in prison in the first place? Born in 1991, Gypsy Rose Blanchard came into the world as the daughter of Dee Dee and Rod Blanchard. Growing up, Gypsy supposedly battled leukemia and muscular dystrophy. Despite her actual age, she appeared much younger. Her chronic health issues tugged at the heartstrings of the local media, and she'd use her sweet baby voice to charm people who met her. The Blanchards availed free trips to Disney World and cashed the support services made for disabled patients. But the reality was far from the story that Gypsy's mother had spun with threads of lies. Gypsy Rose couldn't walk even at the age of 5, as her mother claimed she had a minor accident on her grandfather's motorcycle. Dee Dee exaggerated the tiny scrape on Gypsy's knee so much that she turned it into a serious condition, paralysis. Dee Dee's nephew, Bobby Petrie, vividly recalled in an interview that Gypsy was a perfectly healthy baby despite being born slightly immature. Petrie remembers 2 times he doubted Dee Dee's stories about Gypsy's health. His skepticism crept up when Gypsy was spotted pushing her cousins in a wheelchair and later joyfully bouncing on a trampoline with them. The weird thing about this incident was when Gypsy's mother saw her standing and shouted at her to get back to the wheelchair. The sudden and loud scolding scared Gypsy so much that she, without wasting a second, pretended to be paralyzed, collapsing back into her wheelchair.
Why were you in a wheelchair in June of 2015?
Because my mother forced me to be in one.
When Dee Dee started making up illnesses for Gypsy as a baby, her childhood began getting different from other kids her age. At first, Dee Dee said Gypsy had a sleep apnea disorder when she was just a baby. Later, when Gypsy turned 8, Dee Dee set up a wheelchair and feeding tubes, telling everyone that Gypsy had leukemia and muscular dystrophy. But the diseases didn't stop there. Dee Dee would tell everyone around that Gypsy had a bunch of health problems like seizures, asthma, and trouble with seeing and hearing. But guess what the biggest twist of the story was? The mother, Dee Dee, was suffering from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where she made up all these health problems for Gypsy just to get attention and sympathy for taking care of a supposed sick kid. It's insane. Because of the diseases her mother had diagnosed, Gypsy was forced to take loads of medicines and even had to sleep with a breathing machine. She even went through eye procedures and surgeries to get rid of her salivary glands. All her teeth being pulled out was due to negligence and side effects of medicines. Gypsy could walk just fine, didn't need a feeding tube, and definitely didn't have cancer. And the bald head of Gypsy everyone saw, it was Dee Dee who shaved off her hair. As the years passed by, Gypsy's desire to break free from her mother's control grew stronger. When Gypsy underwent tests for muscular dystrophy in 2001, Dee Dee created fake medical records to convince doctors after the test results showed no signs of the disease. Many doctors showed hesitation to challenge a mother, except for pediatric neurologist Bernardo Flasterstein, who pointed out that Gypsy's weakness didn't match the characteristics of muscular dystrophy. He also took the hints that were pointing towards Gypsy being a victim of Munchausen by proxy, but due to insufficient evidence, he couldn't report it to the authorities. So how was Dee Dee's past? Rod Blanchard and Dee Dee got married in 1991, when Rod was only 17 and Dee Dee was 24. The age gap indicated a clear red sign. Rod wasn't even legally an adult. Their marriage was out of necessity. As a one-time beauty queen, Dee Dee had gotten pregnant after just 6 months of dating. But as Rod matured and reached his 18th birthday, he realized something was very wrong in their relationship. He divorced her since he didn't even truly love her. It was easy for Dee Dee to deceive people with her charming personality and worried mother persona. Dee Dee would discontinue visits to any doctors who raised questions about Gypsy's illness. Since she had some training as a nurse, she knew how to fake accurate symptoms and what medication to give to mimic certain conditions. When Gypsy grew older and could explain symptoms herself, her mother would make sure Gypsy didn't share any information with the doctors. Dee Dee informed Rod that their daughter had a chromosomal disorder, but soon the relatives started noticing Gypsy being able to talk and walk without a wheelchair. This alarmed Dee Dee so much that she relocated from Louisiana to Missouri. In 2005, Dee Dee claimed their Louisiana home was damaged by Hurricane Katrina. She also asserted that Gypsy's medical records were lost in the flood. After Hurricane Katrina, Dee Dee brought Gypsy to a special needs shelter in Covington, LA. At this point, Gypsy's condition was so bad that the shelter doctor, Janet Jordan, was moved to tears. Poor Gypsy had to confront her, saying, "It's okay, you're only human." In 2008, Habitat for Humanity relocated Gypsy and Dee Dee to a fresh residence in Springfield, Missouri. Fast forward to 2009, an anonymous caller reported to the Springfield Police Department that Gypsy's health problems were unsupported by medical evidence. When a police officer knocked on Dee Dee's door, she explained the lack of proper medical reports was because she was trying to avoid her ex-husband out of fear. As Gypsy got older, Dee Dee changed Gypsy's birth certificate to make her look much younger than she really was. When a police officer took a closer look at Gypsy's social security card, they found out that she was 18 and not 14. In 2010, a huge revelation broke upon Gypsy as she discovered she was born in 1991 and was actually 19 years old and not 15, as her mother had made her believe. In February 2011, Gypsy met an unknown 35-year-old man at a sci-fi convention who she started talking to online. Dee Dee lost her cool and not only smashed Gypsy's computer, but even physically confined her to bed when she found Gypsy in a hotel room with that man. Then in 2012, Gypsy came across Nicholas Gojon on a Christian dating site. Living in Big Bend, Wisconsin and diagnosed with autism, Gojon learned the truth about Gypsy's mother. Gypsy wanted to escape her mother so she could be together with Nicholas.
So Gypsy knew you were going to do it because Gypsy asked you to.
Yes.
Why did she ask you to do that?
Because she felt it was her only way to be with me.
Okay. She felt like if you killed the mom, then that's the only way she could be with you.
Yeah.
Gypsy was so serious about wanting her mother dead that she asked Nicholas to kill Dee Dee for her. After dating each other for a good 2.5 years, in June 2015, they finally decided to kill Dee Dee. Nicholas arrived at Gypsy's residence to stab Dee Dee while Gypsy stood in the bathroom with her hands on her ears. On June 14, 2015, the sheriff's deputies discovered the lifeless body of Claudine, or Dee Dee, Blanchard in her residence. Laying face down on her bed, Dee Dee was surrounded by the blood she lost as a result of stab wounds that were left to rot for a few days. Notably, there were no signs of the chronically ill daughter in the house. Gypsy and Nicholas were discovered by the police in Nicholas's home in Wisconsin. Gypsy posted the message that is dead on her Facebook post to make sure Dee Dee's body was discovered and not left to rot. People were shocked when they got to know that Gypsy was actually an adult, free from the multiple illnesses her mother had claimed. Gypsy pleaded guilty for second-degree murder, where she served 8 out of her 10-year sentence. She received parole in September 2023 and was released from prison just recently on December 28, 2023, whereas Nicholas was convicted of first-degree murder and a life sentence without parole. Before resorting to killing Dee Dee, Gypsy wanted to meet and approve of Nicholas. They planned to meet in person at a movie theater, but the meeting didn't go well. Dee Dee punished Gypsy, throwing things and name-calling her vile terms like for arguments that lasted a couple of weeks. This was the moment Gypsy decided that Dee Dee had to die. Following Dee Dee's murder, people questioned why Gypsy didn't simply expose the lies by standing up in public. She responded, "I couldn't just jump out of the wheelchair because I was afraid, and I didn't know what my mother would do. I didn't have anyone to trust." She apparently regrets what happened to Dee Dee, saying she still loves her mom and considers this incident like an addict with an impulse because that helped her cope. After getting out of prison, Gypsy had her eyes set on attending the Kansas City Chiefs game in the hope of meeting Taylor Swift. But she and her husband, Ryan Scott Anderson, who she tied the knot with in 2022 in prison, were asked to leave Missouri. Local law enforcement was concerned about the event's security risks. That's all we have for today. If you liked the video, consider subscribing for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe out there.